Howdy folks, for today's video, it's going to be a short one, but this is a video response to Dave P's question. And a while back, he asked a question to me about, he was wondering about the NOE expander pieces. And these expander pieces, they fit inside the Lee Universal Expander dies. And, you know, if you take apart a Lee Universal Expander die, let me unscrew this real fast. There are two expander pieces inside, and one of them is for, you know, giving it the belling or expanding the brass case of larger stuff, and the other one for smaller stuff, and or calibers. So larger diameter calibers and smaller diameter calibers. And it's just a basic, you know, almost like a truncated cone shape where, you know, it's designed to just give it a little bit of a flare on the case of the mouth of the case. Now, this is good and all, but there are kind of better ways to expand the case mouths. And in a lot of cases, I would say primarily with rifle stuff that I've loaded, I've noticed that when using, well, for example, if you're loading jacketed bullets in rifle cases, a lot of times you don't even need to, well, they don't even include a flaring die or a expanding die because you don't really need it. You know, you have your boat tail bullets, and even the flat base bullets, or those ones, you can get by with just a slight chamfer of the case mouth. But if you're loading cast bullets in rifle calibers or cartridges, then you do still have to flare the case mouth, or else when you try and seat the bullet, then you'll just shave off part of the lead bullet. And if you have powder coated bullets, it will shave off the powder coating and some lead. So you still need to expand the case mouth on rifle bullets when they are cast and or cast and coated. So one of the ways that I like to do it is using, you know, either a Lyman M die, which does, it basically expands the case neck and then kind of puts a little tiny bit of a flare at the top. And those are nice, but, you know, they're kind of a little bit more expensive. But I found that with the NOE expander pieces, you can buy, so for example, I've actually bought lots of, or several Lee Universal Expander dies, and I've replaced the expander pieces with the NOE expander pieces. And for example, this one is a 22, this is for my 223 diameter bullets and stuff. Now, you can see that I replaced only one of the pieces because one of them still, you know, if you're to load, say, like a longer case, a 20, like say maybe 22-250 or something, or something larger like a 22 Creedmoor, then, you know, you could actually take out this top one and just use the expander piece. But with the shorter cases, you use both, and so, you know, it goes together like that, and you get the right height with the two pieces. But just looking at this piece right here, you can see that you have, it expands it evenly, like straight up and down, and then you have just a small little part for the flare. And so the way NOE sizes their expander plugs, it's similar to the M die. They have two numbers, and the way I explain it is to be pretty simple on which one to buy, because Dave was asking which one do I buy for what, and how do I know which one, you know, which size to get. Well, they have, the first number is a larger number, a larger diameter, and that is, I'm going to probably see if I can zoom in on this, but that is for the flare of the case. And then the second number is the expansion of the neck. And ideally, you would want, so for example, say I am casting a 225 bullet. Well, I would want to pick an expander piece that is 0.001 larger than the diameter that I am sizing my bullets to. So if I was casting them at 225, then I'd want to get a 226, get one that starts with 226. And so that will give me a flare that's enough to sit the bullet in on top. And so that second number is usually, I believe, what, 0.004 smaller than the first number. And what that allows you to do is that allows you to control your neck tension to get an even 0.003 neck tension. And so, for example, you size your bullet to 225 and you have the 226, so that gives it enough room to enough flare to sit inside the neck for seating it so that it doesn't flop sideways or anything. You can set it right on top. And then the second number of the size being 0.222, that would give you, between 225 and 222, that's 3 thousandths neck tension. And so that's what I like to use. I mean, you can see I've got it in 45 cal, 38s. I got a bunch of others too. And these expander pieces aren't very expensive, and they're quite nice. You can actually use them for loading jacketed bullets. Sometimes if I'm loading some precision rounds and I want to control the seating to get it, very concentric and get that exact consistent neck tension, then I will buy one of these expanders and use that. But it is something to note that because you size your bullets larger, usually 0.001 or 0.002 larger than your bore diameter, then the same expander for your cast bullets will not be good for your jacketed bullets because they will be too loose. The bullets won't have the proper neck tension if you're using too large of an expander. So you'll want to make sure you have one for your jacketed, one for your cast, or if you don't use it for jacketed, you don't have to. But that's one way I've found to have a consistent neck tension. And one of the other benefits is that if you typically when you just use a regular flare die and it just puts a kind of a more sharp angle of flare on it, and it's okay for pistol, but sometimes you'll get a bullet that will, because it's not sitting straight up and down, it will get seated kind of wonky, like a little bit sideways, and you'll get a bulge in the case because it just went in kind of crooked. And having these little NOE expander pieces, with that straight expansion, it allows them to sit straight up and down, and it helps with the seating process quite a bit. So when you're picking your expander plug, the NOE expander plug, the first number is the larger size. That's the flare. You want that to be 0.001 larger than what you size your bullets to. And then the second number will be 0.004 smaller than what you size or smaller than the first number, but 3 thousandths smaller than what your bullet is sized to, and that gives you the 3 thousandths neck tension. So that's how you pick them. That's the easy way to do it. And I'd encourage you guys, if you're having problems with your bullets tipping sideways or whatever, then these help out a lot. There was a guy who was having issues with his 300 blackout, and he was using the taco bullet and just saying it was, he kind of mentioned that it was a bad design and it wasn't working, and nothing would chamber. And so I asked him to send some of the loaded rounds, and he sent me some, and I could totally see that there's a problem with his seating, and so they were getting seated kind of crookedly. And I noticed that I dropped it in my slotted case gauge and then rotated, and I can see the bulge in the neck on one side. And then so I just recommended, hey, use one of these, or figure out how to seat your bullets properly, but give it a little bit of flair, and seat it straight up and down, and the bullets will work just fine. But this is just a really easy way, these little expander plugs, to get that done simpler. You can expand your case mounts, and then the bullet will sit right on top and get seated. Now there's two different kinds that he offers. He offers the P for pistol and the rifle. And the main difference between that is just the depth. The pistol ones don't... Here, I'll grab this real fast. This is my 38 expander. And you can see the difference. This one, the amount of expansion is it's a lot shorter than, say, the rifle that expands a lot deeper. So anyways, if you guys have any questions about these, leave a comment below and ask away, and I'll do my best to answer them. But I've really enjoyed my NOE expander pieces, and I use them quite a bit. So I've even taken some Lee expanders, the expanding dies, and just pulled out their expander and then put in these ones, and it seems like it works just fine. So anyways, hope this video is helpful to you, Dave P, and hopefully helpful to other people. And so anyways, take care guys, and stay safe. Happy reloading, happy shooting.